Hi everyone, I want to make a quick video on OCO orders. So if you don't know what an OCO or a conditional order is, YouTube and Google are your best friends. As a trader, you definitely need to know what is available to you and what those things are, just like trailing stops, just like, buy limits, sell limits, all those things. It's very important. So I'm going to go through this in a video and you can always go back to it. But let's just say, for example, I am playing the inside candle on the weekly chart of Ford. And I want to, this is how I would set it up. I do the top of that candle. I put different colors to help me follow it on the chart on different time frames. Right, so my pink is, I know it's about to break the upside of the weekly candle. And I put this other little ugly color as the bottom. And then my targets are quite easy, just simply the tops of the and bottoms of the previous candle. Now there are lots of ways to go for target 2 and 3 and trailing stops, but I'm going to keep this real simple in this explanation. And I'll tell you why right here. I've been following this for months and months, and I have my stats. And target 1 always has a 60 to 70% win rate usually, whereas target 2 usually only has about a 40% win rate. So you can go for target 1 and take off part of your position and let a trailing stop do the work for you for a higher target. Of course, that's possible. But today I'm just going to go over the simplest here. I'm going to act like I want this to break to the top side. Let's pretend like I'm expecting a topside break. That's what I'm setting up an OCO order for. So I basically want to buy this if it breaks 1153 because I think it's going to go to 1215. And so many times, anytime you have a new strategy, you don't just, or you hear a new strategy from someone, you don't just jump in and start buying these, right? You test them, you back test them, you paper trade them. So I beg you to do that. These have been incredibly successful, but it is up to you to make sure you do your due diligence. So I would want to set something up for 1153 to 1215. So how would I do that? If I have too many and I'm not wanting to watch them all and I'm afraid I might miss something, maybe I have work, how would I set up an auto order for that? And that is what this video is about. So I would come in here to the trade tab, and if you're not familiar with Thinkorswim, that is not this video. There are tons of Thinkorswim tutorials. So I'd come into the trade tab. If you're playing common stock, you would probably use Active Trader, right? That's great for setting these up on commons, but I am playing options most of the time. So I would actually come in here, and I'm not going to tell you what time frame to buy either. You're playing a weekly chart. I will tell you usually my trades only last 1 to 5 days maximum. However, if you're familiar with options, you know how much time decay and theta and the Greeks, are going to play into what you're doing. So in this example, I'm just going to go 20 days out. I'm just going to do the monthly options, make this example simple. And I'm going to say, okay, I want to buy Ford, right? I'm going to click on a call. And this is the most important. Right down here where you see this little lock and this little, right, drop down with all these. If you do not know what these mean, you should go and make sure you know what they all mean on YouTube before placing one of these orders. But I use first trigger sequence. And then this is my buy order. So I right click on it and do create opposite order. And this is going to be my sell order. It's all going to be automatically in the system. Okay. The next thing I do is actually, you see this little, let me move I almost cut it off with my recording, but you see how when you hover over these, that little toggle button shows up right there? Okay. If you're not on it, it doesn't show up, but you have to toggle on it. And so let's look at the chart. What did I say the trigger is? The trigger is 1153. Now you can play these all types of ways. You might not want to get in till 1160, 1165. That's your preference, right? But for this example, I'm just going to put the trigger as 1154, let's say. Okay. Then we come in here to this toggle and we click on it. It opens up this box, which can be overwhelming, right? You have no idea what's going on until you get used to it. So all I do is click down here. Do you see this area down here? Okay. You click on here, it automatically pulls up the symbol. I didn't type in F, it just automatically fills it for you. I click on method, it automatically fills it for me. Okay, now trigger this is important, do you want it to be less than this amount or higher than? So I want this to be higher than. I want to be Ford to be trading higher than, what did I say? I already forgot. Oops, and you can't forget or you're in trouble. So I'm going to say 11, what was it? Gosh, 43? We'll change it if not. 1143, right? You put in your trigger number there. And then up here, right, all you're going to change is this, where it says MAN. Now, this is total preference. I have tried this so many ways, and I've had the most success with mark. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you don't know what ask, bid, and mark is, you again need to go to YouTube, you need to go to Google, you need to understand these things, and then I actually add a couple of pennies. I'm willing to buy on the mark and give them a couple of extra pennies, and I'm willing to do it good till canceled if Ford is above 1143. I want to be triggered into this option. I want to buy the option based on the underlying stock's trading price. Okay? Then I hit save. Okay. So that is set up. Okay, you see how it changed this to +2, mark +2. It's a, and then if you click on that again, it will remind you of what you set up. So now I'm going to go back and actually look at the chart, and did I get that right? 1143. Nope, it was 53. So I'm going to fix that real quick. All right, I'm just going to go in here, click 54 as my entry. There we go. Save it. And then what's our target one? 1215, right? Okay. So now I want to go back to trade, and I want to do a couple of things. Let's just do one at a time. I'm going to have an order when Ford is actually above, right? This is my target one. I want to sell Ford. I want to sell the option based on the underlying's price. But my price needs to be above the 1215. At or above, right? 1215. That, again, I'm going to change to mark. Now, you guys, this is very important that you understand this because thinkorswim doesn't always work, right? Have we all had that experience? I've gotten bad fills. I've gotten triggered in on Mondays, when there was a gap and I should have canceled the order. It's not a perfect thing. But if you're having to work and you need auto orders, you need to be careful, but this is a great solution. So I'm again buying on the mark, give them a couple extra pennies, good till canceled. When Ford is above 1215, I hit save. Then I check my chart. Did I do that right? Yep, 1215. Now, where's my stop? You always want to stop, right? So again, this is very personal. Some people say your stop should be your R. Some people say it should be based on your the chart. Some people say, I don't know if you know what volume profile is. There's so many different. You could do VWAP, right? There's so many different ways to do this. So in this example, I'm just going to make this very, very simple. If we break up here, if we break up, I want to be in. If we break back down below here, I want to be out, okay? Then I will actually wait for it to come back and I will buy again. Now, does this mean that I'll get stopped out quite often? Yes, it does. I'll get stopped out a lot. I need to be watching this, right? So in this example, I'm going to get triggered out immediately if it comes back under here. So you really need to figure out what your stop is, what works for you, okay? I'm just going to say I'm going to put 1145, okay? If this comes back down and hits 1145, I'm out. Okay, does that make sense? It could be anything. It could be VWAP right here at 1096, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to say 1145. Go back to the trade tab. I go back into the same sell order. Remember, I already put my target one in. Now I'm going to put my stop in the same one. Okay, I click the toggle again. And below the target one, I'm going to hit Ford, mark, right? But this time I'm going to say if Ford, the underlying, is trading under, I always forget what I said already. I'm just going to put 1045. If Ford is trading under 1045, I want to be stopped out. That is what this is saying. So you have two orders in here, and it's basically an and or statement, right? So one of these is going to cancel the other. I want to get triggered into forward first. Once I'm triggered in, then this order will go active. What this order is saying that if forward gets to 12.15, I want to sell. I want to take my profits and run. However, if forward gets to 10.45 before it gets to 12.15, I'm going to be stopped out, right? Everything else stays the same, and I hit save. Now that you've set up both sides of this order, you hit confirm and send down here, right? But it's not going to send it automatically. I always have mine on not auto send, so I can check it. So I hit confirm, and this box pops up, and then you read it back to yourself very carefully. What are you doing here? You're buying one option of forward. It gives you all of your option information. At the mark plus 2 cents, limit good till canceled, if forward is trading above 11.54. Above 11.54. Is that correct? You may need to make sure that it is. Then order number 2. You see over here? That's order number 1. And then it's going to be a conditional order. If that gets triggered in, then these 2 orders are now in the system. And this says sell the same option at a limit of forward trading above 12.15 or forward trading below 10.45. Do you see how it says triggered by order number 1? Okay. So now you've got a complete order in. You're going to get triggered in forward automatically if it goes above your trigger. You're going to get stopped out if it goes below your stop, and you're going to get triggered out for a profit if it hits your target 1. So there you go, everything in a pretty little nutshell. And it tells you here, obviously the cost of your order, right? So then you hit send and you put that little puppy into the system. Then, of course, it's under your monitor and work in orders tab. So if you want to go cancel it, delete it, change it, that's where you go to do so. But I wanted to give you that information because it took me a long time to figure that out. If you go Google and YouTube, there's a lot of different ways to set up OCO orders. I did not have a lot of luck with every other type I tried. It took a lot of trial and error to figure out this OCO order with these parameters on the mark, add a penny or two, the conditional sell and stop in the same, order. I'll show you what I mean. So I had been doing OCO orders like this. Let's say you wanted to buy this. You go in here and you change this to first triggers OCO order, right? Then it automatically, you would do, most people would do it this way. You create an opposite and you create opposite. Oops. Oh goodness. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. This is how a lot of people will show you how to do OCO orders, right? So you actually do an opposite and then you do a duplicate. So you're actually doing your buy, what triggers you in, then you're doing your sell at target 1, right? And then you're doing your stop. So there's 3 different orders. Every time I did this, it really messed me up. So what I started doing was how someone else taught me how to do it, which was putting them both in the same, goodness gracious. Anyway, putting the stop and the, target 1 in the same OCO. So anyway, I hope that helps you. Hope that gives you a little information to know what's available to you on Thinkorswim, gets you thinking about how you can play different positions with as much automation as possible. But automation is never perfect, right? You have to be diligent. You have to be careful. Things happen. Thinkorswim messes up. Bad fills occur. But if you're having to work or step away from your computer, it's definitely better than nothing. Okay, thanks.